Hello, I am Reginald Bullock, author of Father to Son, A Guide to Growing Up in a Difficult World. It's hard to believe that we're at the end of it, right? Um, Words to Live By and For Your Information are chapters 19 and 20. This has been a good journey for me. I hope it has been for you if you've watched all of the chapters in the segments. Um, and if you have, thank you. It's a lot of information. And you will have had to dedicate a lot of time starting from chapter 1 all the way to chapter 19 and 20 and finally the conclusion to listen to this. And I do hope that you've learned something. So, for your information, it basically, these last two chapters, they just put together things that I have come across, that have inspired me, that made sense, that taught me a lot. There's one that I did not insert, um, and I didn't know it at the time that I do now. And so, hindsight 2020, and in my next book, I'll probably put it in there, and it's Invictus. But this book has been a real good journey. Again, I said a lot. Everything may not be applicable to you. You may not agree with everything that I said. I may have ruffled a few feathers on some of the things I've said. And, that happens, right? And so if I've offended anyone, my apologies. It was certainly not my intent. Charge it to the head and not the heart. So how do you end on a good note, that's so final, because after this, I won't appear anymore. So I'll do it this way. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Again, this is Reginald Lafayette Bullock, author of Father to Son, A Guide to Growing Up in a Difficult World. I hope you enjoyed the book. Thank you.
Chapter 19. Words to Live By. The following are phrases and quotes that I have heard, read, remembered, and in some cases written myself that I feel would be useful to you. Some are thought-provoking, direct, and a few controversial. Nevertheless, you can learn something from each one of these phrases. Number 1. It's one thing to tuck your child into bed, but it's the after tuck that counts. RB. Number 2. Always remember what it is like to be poor. Number 3. If you want to keep a secret from a black man, put it in a book. Number 4. Always try to know as much about what you are getting into before you get into it. It helps you stay in it. RB. Had I known then what I know now, I would have done it differently. Number 6. The best thing you can spend on a child is time. Number 7. Never volunteer information. Number 8. The greatest ignorance is to reject something you know nothing about. Number 9. You have two choices. Either kiss my ass or kick it. RB. Number 10. You are a product of your environment. However, through education, you can become a product of your knowledge. RB. 11. The more you learn, the more you realize how little you know. Pythagoras. 12. The difference between winners and losers is winners are willing to do the things that losers aren't willing to do. 13. Never make a promise you can't keep. 14. We all do the same things. What makes us different is the way we do them. 15. Reach for the stars. Even if you only touch the sun, you've still made it. 16. It is a rare man who can calm a hush upon the world while they listen to him speak. RB. 17. You can pay now and play later, or you can play now and pay for the rest of your life. RB. 18. Never send a boy to do a man's job. He'll just come back a boy, whereas a man will come back with results. RB. 19. Believe half of what you see, nothing of what you hear, and challenge everything you read. 20. When an old man dies, a library is lost. Tommy Swan. 21. Challenges can be stepping stones or stumbling blocks. It's just a matter of how you view them. 22. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. 23. You see things the way they are and say, why? I see things that never were and say, why not? George Bernard Shaw. 24. I expect to pass through life but once. If, therefore, there be any kindness I can show or any good thing I can do to any fellow being, let me do it now, for I shall not pass this way again. William Penn. 25. There is no future in any job. The future lies in the man who holds the job. George Crane. 26. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Proverbs 22:66. 27. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. 28. To be well-read is to be well-versed. To be illiterate is to be well-cursed. RB. 29. When you teach that children should be seen and not heard, you have just placed gasoline on the fire rather than water. 30. Either shit or get off the pot. 31. I am somebody. 32. Let there be light. 33. If you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. 34. I pinned it down, and at last it came to be, for length and breadth and bigness which you see. John Bunyan. Chapter 20. For your information, FYI 1. The man who follows the crowd will usually get no further than the crowd. The man who walks alone is likely to find himself in places no one has ever been before. Creativity in life is not without its attendant difficulties, for peculiarity breeds contempt. And the unfortunate thing about being ahead of your time is that when people finally realize you were right, they'll say it was obvious all along. You have two choices in life. You can dissolve into the mainstream, or you can be distinct. To be distinct, you must strive to be what no one else but you can be. By Alan Ashley Pitt. FYI 2. All the scholars and sages of Islam have likewise given top priority to knowledge and its acquisition. Ali said to Camille, knowledge is better than wealth. It guards you, but you have to guard wealth. It dispenses justice, while wealth seeks justice. Wealth decreases with expense, while knowledge increases with expenses. Ibn Aswad said, nothing is more honorable than knowledge. The kings rule over the people, while the learned rule over the kings. FYI 3. What it takes to be number one. You've got to pay the price. Winning is not a sometimes thing. It's an all-the-time thing. You don't win once in a while. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time. Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. There is no room for second place. There is only one place in my game, and this is first place. I have finished second twice in my time at Green Bay, and I don't ever want to finish second again. There is a second place bowl game, but it is a game for losers, played by losers. It is and always has been an American zeal to be first in anything we do, and to win, and to win, and to win. Every time a football player goes out to play his trade, he's got to play from the group up, from the soles of his feet right up to his head. Every inch of him has to play. Some guys play with their heads. That's okay. You've got to be smart to be number one in any business. But more important, you've got to play with your heart. with every fiber of your body. If you're lucky enough to find a guy with a lot of head and a lot of heart, he's never going to come off the field second. Running a football team is no different from running any other kind of organization, an army, a political party, or a business. The principles are the same. The object is to win, to beat the other guy. Maybe that sounds cruel. I don't think it is. It's a reality of life that men are competitive, and the most competitive games draw the most competitive men. That's why they're there, to compete. They know the rules and the objectives when they get in the game. The objective is to win. Fairly, squarely, decently, by the rules, but to win. And in truth, I've never known a man worth his salt who, in the long run, deep down in his heart, didn't appreciate the grind, the discipline. There is something in good men that really yearns for need, discipline, and the harsh reality of head-to-head combat. I don't say these things because I believe in the brute nature of man or that men must be brutalized to be combative. I believe in God and I believe in human decency, but I firmly believe that any man's finest hour, his greatest fulfillment to all he holds dear, is that moment when he has worked his heart out in a good cause and lies exhausted on the field of battle, victorious. By Vince Lombardi. FYI 4. It's all in a state of mind. If you think you are beaten, you are. If you think you dare not, you don't. If you like to win, but you don't think you can, it's almost certain you won't. For many a race is lost before a step is taken, and many a coward fails before the fight begun. Success begins with your will, and it's all in a state of mind. Think big, and your deeds will grow. Think small, and you'll fall behind. Think that you can and you will because it's all in a state of mind. Remember, life's battle doesn't always go to the stronger or faster man, for sooner or later the man who wins is the one who thinks he can. Anonymous. FYI 5. What is it you want? Do you want money, respect, or some sex from a person you met? How about a loaded down car or your name on a star? Would it matter to know that your mom was a hoe? Would you be mad, lad, if I knew your dad was a fag? What is it you want? How about a hug, a handshake, a pat on the back? How about a job in the place of the education you lack? Is it really your desire to climb higher and higher? Perhaps you just want to be like the person you admire. What is it you want? Hey, black man with the chip on his shoulder, there's something I've learned as I got older. Just because you're my color don't mean you're my kind. So the more you screw up, the more I become colorblind. Yeah, I know you're black, but you can't call me brother. You see, brothers are when two people help one another. So when you look at me, what do you see? I bet the last thing on your mind is a family tree. Nevertheless, I wish you the best. Perhaps together someday we can clean up the mess. But until that time, you're out to lunch. That is, at least until you figure out, what is it you want? By R.B. FYI 6. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when funds are low and the debts are high and you want to smile but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is queer with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up. Though the pace seems slow, you might succeed with another blow. Often the goal is nearer than it seems to a faint and faltering man. Often the struggler has given up when he might have captured the victor's cup, and he learned too late when the night slipped down how close he was to the golden crown. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tints of the clouds of doubt, and you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems afar. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you mustn't quit. FYI 7. An Eagle Scout. A different sort is an Eagle Scout. He's as good on the inside as the out. True to his God and his nation's flag, a boy whose loyalties never sag. An upright boy with a heart of gold. He can take the heat and can stand the cold. An adventurous sort of a rough, tough lad, he'd share with anyone all that he had. He's cheerful and good, and he's filled with fun. He always helps till the work is done. No loafer he, this young man with skill, with his disciplined heart and mind and will. He camps and cooks, he hikes and climbs. He can sing a song or make verses that rhymes. You can trust an eagle with all you own. You can count on him when the chips are down. He's a splendid youth with a lifetime goal. He's the type of boy who's in control. A rare breed is this young Eagle Scout, who's as good on the inside as the out. So honor the eagle and model his deeds. He'll plow rich soil and plant good seeds. There's no better young man in this great land than an Eagle Scout with a helping hand. By Elder Vaugh J. Featherstone. FYI 8. Far better it is to dare mighty things, to win glorious triumphs, even though checkered by failure, than to take rank with those poor spirits who never enjoy much nor suffer much because they live in the gray twilight that knows not victory nor defeat. By Theodore Roosevelt. FYI 9. Delinquent. We read in the papers and hear on the air of killing and stealing and crime everywhere. We look, sigh, and say as we notice the trend, this young generation, where will it all end? But can we be sure that it's their fault alone? That maybe a part of it isn't our own? Are we less guilty who place in their way too many things that lead them astray? Too much money, too much idle time, too much movies of passion and crime, too many books not fit to be read, too much evil in what they hear said, too many children encouraged to roam, too many parents who don't stay at home. Kids don't make movies, they don't write books, they don't paint pictures of gangsters and crooks, they don't make the laws and they don't sell the cars, they don't make the liquor, they don't run the bars, they don't peddle the drugs that idle the brain. That's all done by older folks, greedy for gain. Delinquent teenagers, oh, how we condemn the sins of the nation and blame it on them. By the laws of the blameless the Savior made known, who is there among us to cast the first stone? For in so many cases, it's sad but true, the title delinquent fits older folks too. FYI 10. Father to son. Son, walk with me, that I may tell you all I have seen. Wear my shoes, that you may learn what I have learned. Open your heart and mind, that I may teach you the ways of the world. Then stand on my shoulders, that you may see further than I, and teach me all that you see. Conclusion. Figuring out life and your place in it is a journey, not an objective. One day you think you figured everything out, and the next day you're even more confused than you were when you were searching. The truth of the matter is, you are always searching. Why does anyone go hiking in the woods? It's because they are searching. Most hikers don't even know that they are searching, let alone what they are searching for. Generally, after the hike is over, however, they are fulfilled and at peace because they have found what they were searching for. Even though at the start they had no idea what they were searching for or what they might find while hiking, they just knew that hiking was the right thing to do, and in doing so, something was going to happen. So too is the nature of this book to you. When you began reading this book, you began a journey back in time and a journey into the future. As you continued to read, my intention was to align the past and the future with your present. My intention was to assist in your navigation, to assist you in your search for who you are. A young man's greatest journey is the search of self. Most of the problems that exist with our youth today stems from the fact that they don't know who they are. If you knew who you were, if you were truly satisfied with who you are, then peer pressure would not even be a factor. The trends and fads would not affect you as emotionally as it does now. Your size or your color would not matter to your ego. Do you know who you are? Really, do you know who you are, your abilities, your capabilities, your knowledge, your potential, your physical, emotional, and spiritual strength, your intuition, your tenacity, your drive, your leadership, your attitude, your confidence, your personal qualities are just some of the things that make you, you. Do you know who you are, what you are made of, and all the things you can do? How powerful are you? How influential are you? Can you move mountains? Can you move governments? Can you move people? Who are you? Father to Son, a guide to growing up in a difficult world, has already helped many people to find themselves. Young men and young ladies have benefited greatly, not only from reading this book, but from sharing it with others who are in search of self. They have benefited from the self-satisfaction feeling that they receive from helping someone else. That is the intention of this book, to help you. It has been an awesome journey, but most important, an enlightenment to manifest my thoughts into words and share them with you. Now that I am at the end, now you must begin. May the supreme architect of this universe dwell and delight within you and bless you for all eternity. This has been Father to Son, a guide to growing up in a difficult world. Written by Reginald L. Bullock. Published by iUniverse. Narrated by Larry Heron.